Hey there, Jim. It's Jeremy. Here's the bike. First time recording on my camera, so I hope you can hear me okay here. Originally, the bike, it's a 2013 Thruxton Bonnie from Triumph. Originally, it was the Brooklyn's Green Metallic. I had it painted the BMW Silver Gray off their M Roadster from mid-2000s, like 2007, I think was the year of the M. And had that done 2 years ago now. And the paint is holding up great. It's the bike is garage kept, so it doesn't see a whole lot of weather. It'd be easier to explain the work that I've done on it than the stock specs. You can find those anywhere. The forks, I'll start up front. The forks are it's the stock tubes, but I had them painted, that gold color that you see there. The internals are new. I've got progressive springs. I've got a 20 weight fork oil in there to stiffen up the front end. It's also preload adjustable. There's like 3 different preload settings there to stiffen it up if you like. I've got it on the stiffest. It's nice in the twisties that way. Let me see. Moving on here. What you don't see in the picture is this 7-way steering dampener. I've got it set on a setting 3 right now, because I do just as much in-town riding as I do on the highway. So between 3 and 4, I kind of flick back between the two. Eliminates speed wobble, and again, if you want to get into the twisties, you can crank it up and really stiffen up your front end. Works out great. I think I got that from a company called Biltwell, if you're familiar with those guys. I've got a lay flat gauge bracket. Normally the gauges, they kind of sit up on an angle up here, more in your face if you want to attach a cowl. I'm going to include that bracket with it, so if you want to have them more upright, you can. I've got heat-wrapped headers. This is something that I got from Dime City, I think, and it's a titanium-looking wrap. I've actually got a replacement wrap that I'm going to put on it just to kind of recover it and clean it up. Before I sell the bike, I'm going to do that. The pipes are British Customs. When I fire up the bike, you'll see that and you'll get to hear it. It's the British Customs Predators, which they've been making for years. Basically, ever since the Triumph came out, they came up with these things, and they're sort of tried, tested, and true. I've got an airbox eliminator kit on that. I've still got the original airbox and filter if you want to put the original stuff back on there. I'll also include the tune. It's a company called Tune ECU, I think. It's an online thing. You can download the whole program, plug it into your bike, and remap it on your laptop. That's what I did. I went through a couple of different map settings. The Triumph Wrap forum, they've got a lot of support there, so you can go through the whole thing and try a couple of different things and see what feedback is best for you. I'll explain a little more when I fire the bike up, how that's affected the bike. What else we got? Whole bunch of stuff. The seat is actually the factory seat, but with a seat cover from a company called Luimoto. You can see it a lot better here in this light. All it was, I unhooked the original material. I'd like to say it's leather, but it's not. It's some sort of a fabric, but it's rain resistant. This is actual leather, also rain resistant. But it was pretty easy going on. It's stapled on. I've got a pretty clean fit to it. There's a couple of things that I would like to have done over, but overall, as you can see, it's pretty good. Not bad for my first try anyway. The strap is just a decorative tank strap. It doesn't serve a function. I just wanted to add the look of one from a company called Wilder Factory. It's just got a hooky up here, and down here underneath the seat, it's got a couple of tie straps that you hook on and tighten it up. And then this is just, it's really decorative. It does unlatch, but there's really no purpose behind it. What else have I got? Oh, yeah, rear suspension. Hag-On Nitro. They're piggyback shocks, and they completely changed the way of the ride. Absolute transformation with these things. And you'll see, you spend a little time on the forums, and they'll talk about how the stock suspension, even though they were 3-way adjustable preload suspension, they didn't quite do the job when you wanted to get aggressive on the bike. So when I did the overhaul, I put these things on there, and it really did transform the ride. Tires. It was time for tires. I didn't replace these just for the hell of it. I actually needed new tires. So when I did, I went with the Michelin Pilot Road 3s. These are 1 year old, so you'll get Another couple of years of good riding on these things. You can see the tread is nice and deep, so that's one thing you don't have to worry about. And that's probably it. When I fire it up, if I think of anything else, I'll add it in there. But that essentially is the bike. All right, now to fire it up, because it's been retuned, okay, Triumph did a thing where they added what looks like a choke, but it isn't. It's just a throttle switch. It's a two-position throttle switch. For cold starts, you want to pull it out a notch and get it going. When it's warmed up, you still want to pull it out a notch, simply because of the pipes and the new breather that I got in here. It wants more air. The computer doesn't recognize that right away, so it needs 10 seconds to catch up and say, oh, this is what we're doing. So when you fire the bike up, pull that out one click, and you can hear that. There's one, there's two. I've never used the second setting on that. Just one click, even if it's warm, and that'll help you get her going. Now I'll see if I can... You got to hold the clutch in on this guy, these modern bikes. And come over here. Now once she's fired up, you'll hear the RPMs go up a little bit. As soon as they rise, you can push that in. Now I've already fired her up, so she's already warmed up. If it was cold, you'd actually hear the engine raise up, just like an old carbureted bike. Once you warmed up, then you push in on your throttle switch, and it settles back down just under 1 grand there. You can see her there. Now for the sound, this is always the treat. Hang on. Figure out a way of setting the phone up here. See how this comes through. And that's it. Any further questions? You want me to take more video? Anything you want to see? Let me know, and I'll chat with you soon. One thing I'll add before I shut this down, I'm going to give those guys a fresh coat of polish before I actually sell her. So if it looks blunt, it's going to be sparkly shiny if you choose to buy it. All right, bud. I'll chat soon.